I want to tell you a story about a moment that changed my life forever. Okay, now this is a story that involves many facets, so pay attention. Me and my cousin Cletus, we was out there, out in the field at night, and we were out there looking around, and suddenly, above us in the sky, a bright light appeared. And we looked at each other like, oh my God. Oh, what's going on? I started to feel funny, tingly, and light. And we just got beamed up. And now there we are, surrounded by graves. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, oh my God, Cletus, what are they going to do to us? Suddenly, one of them got a glowing finger walking up to Cletus. He looked at him, and I saw him involuntarily just bent over. Pants fell down. And then I saw him get broke. And I was like, oh my Lord. No, don't do that to me. Well, now he's coming my way. Finger glowing, he starts reaching for my head. I'm like, hey, what you doing, man? That ain't sanitary. As soon as I said that, he lit it up even hotter, and it just smoked a little, and then he came back for me, and he touched me right here. Instantaneously, something opened up. It was my upper brain. I was like, whoa, wait a second. Oh my God, what have we done? Oh, I started thinking about all the anger and hooting and hollering. Oh, I used to be an alpha male following Myron on the YouTube. And now I could see very clearly what the problem was. I want to say right now, apologize to my ex-wife, Melissa. Listen, Melissa, I know I didn't treat you right. When I took the ball gag out your mouth and you started speaking English, I was shocked. It triggered me so much, I didn't know how to handle it. For centuries, we've existed with you and your kind, living together in harmony due to your silence. And I'm so sorry, but it was legal in Alabama for me to keep you chained up in the basement as my property, but it wasn't the point. Just because it was legal, just because it was sanctioned, doesn't make it right. You had every right to go out there and want to explore the world and learn more words than the ones I taught you, like yes and yes and yes. So, what was the problem with it is we just wasn't used to it. LeBron James, I'm so sorry for being angry on your Twitter feed. Those emails about my residual checks, I just want to explain it to you so you understand white America real quick. You see, for centuries, my kind has been sequestered indoors, where we developed advanced levels of anger and fear with the reactionary brainstem existence fueled by norepinephrine and adrenal hormones. The stress hormones wiped out our muscle mass, and we would breed each other to be wider and wider and wider, use a social status to be skinny, and have literally no capacity to go outdoors. The wider you was and the weaker you was, it meant you had total domination. So we bred ourselves to be weak, but we bred you to be strong. We want to give you cerebral capacities for multitasking like the world had never seen. And I want you to know, LeBron, my great-great-great-grandpappy bred you all together and made a superhuman. Literally psychic gifts where in 3D space you could do anything. Made you magical. Your body was so strong you could do the work of 25 white men. And boy, oh boy, when you put your mind to it, you could practically move anything you want in space. Watching you, we knew how the pyramids could form, but we wanted to keep it under control. We knew we had made something special the world had never seen, but we needed to control it with fear and anger. And so one day, Grandpappy went out there with the bullwhip and hooting and hollering, and he found a book. He knew it was all over. They snatched that whip from him and slapped the shit out of him and pimp slapped him right to the ground and ran away. Troublemakers like Lincoln set this whole thing in motion. And when we lost you, we lost part of ourselves. We didn't have any way to integrate in reality no more. We couldn't go outside. There's nobody to work the plantation. And suddenly now, we went from top of society, hooting and hollering and angry, in control, to trying to wear sheets to spook you back onto the plantation, showing up, trying to be bigger and taller than the Anthony Davises that we bred to pick peaches up there. And you know, when we made him a giraffe, we made you an ox, and we just looked at the Lakers playing, and we just thought, Gosh, if that PPP loan comes through, I can wire it to Jeannie Bush and get my whole farm back online and get out of this double wide and restore the greatness that America once knew when we came here and wiped out everybody and threw the Bible all over the place, kept the woman in the kitchen, kept the workers out there, gave them nothing but watermelons and chickens. So we bred you to be superhuman, super intelligent. We start seeing the world change. Suddenly, they took away baseball, and then football, and then golf too. And then we saw Obama. We knew it was over. And then Michelle, she talked with such power, clarity, dignity, and integrity. We thought it was a man. We couldn't relate to a black woman with that much power and a voice. It scared the bejesus out of us. We were barely used to women talking at all. And to see you all out there, just with all the power we done gave you, and we evolved for thousands of years to work off the reptilian brain stems. And that's it. We had a brain saturated in adrenaline and fear. And that was an advantage, because it would create the ability to dominate other human beings. You see, the norepinephrine, it basically segregates the consciousness. And the subjective consciousness of fear and animalistic rage is what we needed to dominate you. So much adrenaline blocked our emotions, and so we couldn't see the human in you. All we saw was our investment disappear. Thousands of years of perfect genetics, and our genetics was based on overswollen adrenal cortexes, stress hormones ripping our muscles right out of our body, an inability to walk around outside without getting exhausted, and a vulnerability to sunlight, just like a vampire. And so when we saw our greatest leader ever, the orange man who stamped his way in a world without being able to make other people do his work, he found a way to bullshit everybody and use anger to dominate them. So we saw hope. Anger's making a comeback. So you just bullshit and lie and get angry and you can go. And he made the ultimate sacrifice for us. See, we were so worried about the natives coming back to Mexico. We don't want a border with no Canadian. We didn't do genocide up there. But the ones that lived here on the land, oh, they had magical powers. They knew how to talk to animals, you see. They loved the buffaloes, the wolves, and they lived amongst the land. And we were terrified of them, man. They were so intelligent. They didn't use domination and fear. They had a cerebral cortex and wisdom, and so we had to use weapons and things to hurt them, you know, and trick them and lie to them. And we just need to get rid of them because they were so superior to us. We never seen a human being out there in the wilderness literally living peacefully and totally could live forever and not need anything from us. The only thing we could do with them is we couldn't control them because they were smarter than us, wiser than us. They knew the land. We had to get rid of them. And that's what we did. And we gave them alcohol and syphilis and tried to force them to read the Bible. And the ones that didn't, well, we had to get rid of them. So now we put them in the casinos and we just let them have that. And we thought we could keep them happy, but even they're hooting and hollering. So when we saw Donald, oh my God, a man that made anger a thing that you could use again. Even though he had to use it against us, it was for a good reason. So when he said he's gonna build the wall to keep us safe, and the things he said about women and blacks, we knew he'd bring back the traditions that we wanted. I saw Melissa back chained up in there. I saw the Lakers in my backyard doing all the work, and we would be great again. And everything that General Lee promised us would come true. And so that's why we were so mad. We saw him, you know, and said he made the ultimate sacrifice, Trump. He adapted his body by growing out all that hair to protect his scalp and turning himself orange by exposing himself to unnatural levels of UV radiation just so he can go out there and supervise the ball and try to dominate somebody with military might to build it for him. And so when we saw Fox News tell us they're opening the borders, we got so mad. But it was not your fault. It was ours. We did this to ourselves by breeding ourselves to be ignorant and angry with no empathy or compassion for nobody. And that's why, Melissa, I'm so sorry, baby. I want you to get all the master's degrees you want. And I don't care if I see you on TMZ with Tristan Thompson. You're always a zero body count to me, baby.